Hello, light of the world. So, a couple weekends ago, I attended my Cursillo, and my parents had gone back in the 70s, and they really enjoyed it. But I was a kid, so I had no clue what it was about. But that being said, I've been really feeling this pull, this calling lately. That's the reason for this YouTube channel. And I've already told you how that came about, this calling to be the light of the world that this often dark world so desperately needs. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my first video. But in any case, I was told that it's really difficult to explain Cursillo if you don't experience it yourself. And now that I've been there, I believe that to be true as well. But I'm going to try in this short video to give you some highlights of what it's about and what I learned over the course of the weekend. So first, what I learned is that we really need to slow down and not get so overwhelmed by our responsibilities. I know I definitely do. We need time to reflect, especially on our ideals. Ideals being something attainable that will motivate you and center your life. And I found that if I don't have a solid ideal, then my life tends to spin out of control. I mean, think about the spinning plates. You know, you're so busy, you're busy spinning this one, and then this one stops, and you have to spin this one, and it's just never ending. And you don't have time to actually focus on anything because you're so busy putting out fires, basically. So the second thing that I learned, or that we really talked about in depth, at least in my group, is something that we don't talk about too often, and that is the existence of evil, and an actual evil entity, the devil. Yes, he does exist, and I've experienced his abilities firsthand, and I know a lot of other people who have, and it's pretty scary. In Spanish, the devil, they call him mentiroso, which really does a good job of explaining how he works. He's a deceiver, and his greatest desire is to take as many people away from God as possible. And as a deceiver, what he does is what any good army also does: divide and conquer. So what he does is he makes people realize and recognize their differences rather than their similarities. And if you ask any anthropologist, we humans are much more alike than we are different. In fact, the Human Genome Project says we're about 99% the same. But in this world, we like to focus on the fact that this person's black, this person's white, this person's a Muslim, a Jew, Christian, Democrat, Republican, which is a convenient way for our brains to process things, and there's a reason why our brains do that. And it can be relatively harmless if we do it without also including biases and prejudices. But unfortunately, that's just not usually the case. We tend to create boundaries and separations, slowly dividing each other and dividing ourselves, while evil is conquering. And while the devil is keeping us busy fighting each other, he's also keeping us from the truth. And as John 8, chapter 8, 31 to 32 says, the truth will set you free. The devil is a magician, using his sleight of hand to keep us from focusing on the important stuff. So he's kind of getting us to focus on this stuff over here, which is minor, while he's doing some big stuff in the background. So while we're focusing on this, he's working on this. And in order to grow as Christians, and even just as people, we need to focus on the important matters. And as cheesy as this sounds, the most important matter is love. It's in the Bible. In John chapter 13, verse 34 to 35, it says, I give you a new commandment: love one another. As I have loved you, so you should also love one another. This is how all will know you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. And that, my friends, is just a small sample of what I experienced at Cursillo. Pure, unconditional love. All of us were in like this cocoon of love and acceptance, and I've never experienced anything like it. And I hope to continue feeling that way and to bring that to other people. So my recommendations are as follows. Don't fall prey to the mentiroso's evil plot. Do not let him divide your family, your friends, even strangers. Don't make enemies based on individual differences. We are so much more alike than different. Don't prejudge. 2, set aside time daily for prayer and reflection and make it a priority. We talked about putting it on your calendar. We schedule everything in our lives these days. Schedule your prayer too. Invite the Holy Spirit in and ask for guidance. Always pray. Pray unceasingly. Number 3, love one another and view others with a loving and compassionate heart. If you're having trouble with that, it can be very difficult. I mean, in the Bible, it also says that, it's easy to love your brothers and your sisters. The hard part is loving people that don't love you back, or loving people that are mean. Love them anyway. And if you're having trouble with that, prayer helps. Or ask someone who you admire or is just good at it. Number 4, attend Cursillo. If you don't know where to find one, contact me and I'll guide you. And I promise, if you just make these simple changes, your life will change. De colores. And have a great day.